formed. I know in today's time that's probably not a surprise. But I think one of the greatest myths that's ever been perpetuated, there's two in the medical sciences. The first one is cholesterol causes heart disease. The greatest myth that's ever been perpetuated in the medical sciences. Cholesterol doesn't cause heart disease. The other one, which is near and dear to my heart, is that nitrite in cured and processed meats causes cancer. I mean, it's completely myth that's been perpetuated now for 50 or 60 years. So why is that? Well, years ago, they found in the 1950s, it was first reported that nitrite-cured fish, when consumed, was causing an increased risk of certain cancers, liver cancers, or certain stomach cancer. So this is what we call an association, right? This is nutritional epidemiology, where you take populations who are eating certain amounts of these foods, looking at outcomes years later. An association, but not causation. Now, to establish causation, you've got to have a biologically plausible mechanism to tie that observation to the increased risk of cancer. So in the 60s and 70s, they came up with this thought that nitrite can form nitrosamines. Nitrosamines can intercalate DNA, cause mutations, and cause cancer. So now the story was complete. Nitrite cures meat, causes nitrosamine formation. Nitrosamines cause cancer. Well, now their story falls apart because in 2000, the National Toxicology Program of the U.S. government did a dose escalation study to try to answer that question. Does nitrite cause cancer? What they found was through dose escalation studies in mice, rats, and rabbits, found there was no evidence of cancer-causing activity by nitrite in any animal and any cancers. In fact, at some doses, it was anti-cancer. So now you start to think, well, we know that vegetables, a plant-based diet, vegetarian diet, lower incidence of cancers, right? If nitrate and nitrite cause cancer, vegetarians, the Japanese, Mediterraneans would have about 100 times higher cancer rate than meat eaters. But we know it's just the opposite. So nitrite and nitrate does not cause cancer. And I've consulted for companies like Kraft, Oscar Mayer, these meat companies, and I tell them, look, you have to get away from advertising no nitrite, no nitrate added cured meat because nitrite's absolutely essential for food safety. If your sausage and bacon and hot dogs didn't have nitrite, there would be an epidemic of foodborne illnesses and deaths from E. coli, botulism, salmonella. Nitrite is the only thing that preserves the antimicrobial activity of ready-to-eat foods. And so now, in the 1970s, the Code of Federal Regulation changed that says if you're adding nitrite to any cured and processed meat product, you have to add a certain amount of ascorbic acid, erythrobate, and today they use erythrobate, right? So that prevents any nitrosative chemistry. And we actually measured this. We published this in 2009. And we took regular nitrite cured bacon, and then we took no nitrite added bacon. And we brought it to the lab, we quantified the nitrite in it, and we found that the no nitrite added bacon had 5 times higher nitrite in it than the conventionally nitrite cured bacon. So it's really consumer deception because what these meat companies are doing is they're adding vegetable powder, which is a source of nitrate. Then they add a starter culture of bacteria called Staph carnosus. And these bacteria convert the nitrate to nitrite on the surface of the meat, and then the nitrite cures the meat. So they're not adding sodium nitrite directly to the meat. They're adding celery salt or different powders, and then putting bacteria on it to form nitrite to cure the meat. And what does that mean? Well, it's a variable yield. So the food quality, the shelf life of these organically cured products are less. The quality of these products are much less. And there's very little residual nitrite even in conventionally grown or eventually cured nitrite added meats. So I tell people, don't spend an extra $2 to $3 a pound to buy no nitrite, no nitrate added meats. Go and buy it. You shouldn't be afraid of it. In fact, I tell the meat companies you should say supplemented or fortified with nitrate or nitrite because you need that. We know it's an essential, indispensable nutrient needed for human physiology.
All right, so there's a lot there. The fact that